So I'm sure we've all done this, right? Like we've all we've all in our heads made our own Space Marine chapters, right? Like our own OC Space Marine chapters in our heads, and for I'm sure like some tabletop people have made it for like this is my my own Space Marine group, and you don't know about them because they're secretive. Right? So we've all done that in Warhammer, one hand or another. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. I'm not really into the whole tabletop game itself, but the lore. And you know what? I thought it'd be kind of fun to make my own version of a Space Marine chapter and kind of give my lore on it. And I'm always excited if you guys have your own. Please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this is just my personal one, and I'm always excited to hear yours. So let's kind of talk about this. Let's talk about this group, which is called the Drakengard. The Drakengard, this Space Marine chapter, is a chapter of the Imperial Fists. But the reason why the Drakengard and the Imperial Fists don't really talk about the Drakengard that much, mostly because they are so different from them, that the Fists are like, you. The Drakengard is kind of like the black sheep of the family for all the chapters that are under the Imperial Fists. Basically, they are so different from their Primarch Geneseed father that the rest of the Imperial Fists, as well as the others, are just kind of like, yeah, we don't talk about them. They're not because like they're evil or like they're traitor or something, because they're so emotionally different that they're more akin to like the salamanders or the space wolves. It's almost believed in this kind of story that that they got Dorn, like all the emotion that Dorn was supposed to have, all went to them. So the Drakengard are these Space Marines who are decked in like yellow, but it's more like not the primary color. It's more like the trim of it. Their primary color is more of a bronze, more like a bronze or brass coloring, and their home world is called Thermopylae. Obviously, the hot gates of Thermopylae. So on Thermopylae, the Drakengard that's their home world, and there aren't many of them. It's not because they're secretive. It's more like there just aren't a lot of them. They roughly amount out to about 300. Because they're so there's really only 300 Space Marines, and these guys aren't these guys love to fight, as opposed to like Dorn and their Gene Father, as well as like the Imperial Fist themselves. The Drakengard really love to fight. Like they actually love to get into scraps. But the thing is, they have to pick. They know what their number is. Like they know that their number is 300, and they don't want. And they're also, their belief is that they have to remain at 300. So once they hit that number, and if they lose any, they'll just have to replenish them all. Because there's a reason for that. Basically, during the Horus Heresy, the original Imperial Fists that would become that would lead to them breaking up and becoming the Drakengard were at Thermopylae, 300 Space Marines standing against their longtime adversaries, the Night Lords. And there, standing at a choke point that would have taken the whole city that they protect, 300 Space Marines held the line and slaughtered 1,000 Night Lords. And eventually they became like, they would, when the Codex Astartes and all of that with Guilliman happened, they all kind of broke up and they stayed at 300 in honor of those 300 Space Marines. But they love a good fight. They love a good fight, and they're so vastly different because they also they love a good scrap, but they also care about they're not like salamanders where they'll like stay behind and help clean up wreckage and whatnot. It's more like they want to pick and choose their battles away from civilians. If the fight happens in a city, oh well, shit happens. But they try to like draw their fights away from civilians. They're not really much. They will defend civilian points, but like it's not a big thing to them. Now their chapter master is known as Atero Gilgamesh, and their war cry, got tongue-tied there. Their war cry is Atero Dominatus. when they're charging into battle. Gilgamesh, like I said, is the chapter master. You'd think it'd be Leonidas, but no. I'm trying to be a little original here. Gilgamesh is a lot different from a lot of other chapter master space marines. He has more incline with like the space wolves, where Gilgamesh is like like most chapter masters and even primarchs are like stoic, and they kind of keep to themselves, and they always like, oh, it's it's the burden of being a leader of men, and also the Imperium and of the God Emperor and all that. Gilgamesh is just like, ha ha ha, bring me more beer, bring me more ale, and bring me women, preferably naked women. I wish to enjoy my libations. So a lot of Gilgamesh was very inspired by Rider from the anime Fate Zero. If you've seen that anime, then you're like, oh, that tracks. But yeah, Gilgamesh is this loud and proud kind of leader. His whole thing is that the whole grim and foreboding shit that can only get you so far with soldiers. You have to be loud, and you have to be like. You have to, even if you're scared out of your mind, you have to be like loud and pounding your chest, and like and men will follow you if you laugh in the face of death. Men will follow you into the gates of chaos themselves if you laugh at them. That's his belief. And again, he doesn't have a problem with the other Space Marine chapters. None of the Drakengard do, but they're all just kind of like, man, you guys are too serious. Space Wolves, you're cool. Salamanders, you're alright. Rest of y'all, especially the Imperial Fist, which they come from, they're just kind of like, you guys need to lighten up. What's the point of fighting in war if you cannot enjoy combat? They love to get drunk, and they're always like, in this storyline, they're always like welcome at. They're always welcome with the Space Wolves, even if they aren't from the same legion. They're always like, if the Space Wolves are nearby, they're just like, "What up, cuz? You guys going to a fight? Yeah, we're gonna get drunk after. You want to come? Hell yeah!" they're like the fun cousin of the Astartes. The Drakengard also have this thing of, again, they keep their numbers at 300 and honor that, and they really fucking hate the Night Guard. They really, like, all of the Astartes hate Chaos, but they really have it out for the Night Lords because of what they did, because they, even though the 300 Space Marines stood their ground, they all got basically massacred later on when a bigger force got them in a pincer maneuver with the Night Lords, and they brought, and Conrad Kurz and his Night Lords delivered swift justice on them. So the Drakengard have a serious, like, fuck every Night Lord we see. It's on site with the Night Lords. Those fucking Edge Lords, as they like, Night Lords, more like Edge Lords. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That's just a fun little overview of my own Space Marine chapter I created. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what is a Space Marine chapter that your own Space Marine chapter? Just let me know in the comments below. What's their lore? What's their whole thing? Just comment below, let me know. I'm really curious to see what you guys come up with this one. I thought this would be kind of fun, and one that's been an idea that's been kind of cooking in my head. So I thought, you know what? Fuck it. Let's give this a go. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.